fear, fear, fear. Who can tell me what fear means? Do you know that fear is a coward? Have you heard of the saying that a barking dog does not bite? Do you know what fear does? Fear is a cancer that eats up the brain 7 times and kills the brain 7 times and cripples the mind from performing or finding solutions to problems. Fear. If there is anyone who should be afraid in life, it is the blind Justice Chukwu. But I don't know, for some reason, tough situation gets me tougher. Have you heard of the saying that when things get tough, you need to get tougher? Okay, let me go back to the Bible. Since the coming of John the Baptist, the kingdom of God suffers violence, and it is only the violent people that can take it by force. Let me tell you, let me ask you a question. Why is it that despite having dogs, as guards in some compounds and buildings, when an equipped gang of armed robbers decides to raid the building or the structure, they would still succeed and even kill the dogs? Okay, so fear is a barking dog that does not bite. That is how I define fear. The best way to deal with fear is to attack fear. Do you know that growing up as a child, a blind child in Nigeria, I had to encounter dogs? I mean, very, fierce and aggressive dogs. I had to encounter those people we describe as highly mentally deranged in Nigeria. Yes, I collided with some of them and they attacked me. Yes. Did I fear? Of course, I had a little shock at the time of the attack. Did I succeed? Yes. And I'm gonna tell you, maybe in the coming videos, how I was able to succeed. But what I'm trying to mention to you today is that fear is a cancer that eats up the brain 7 times and kills the brain 7 times. It cripples the human body and freezes our nerves from acting. Sometimes you would realize that the reason for being afraid was insignificant. But by the time you realize that, it might be too late. Then why would you entertain fear? What is that business? What is that, academic pursuit? Your dreams, your plans that you are seeing as a mountain, an insurmountable mountain, because someone had told you, oh, there is no way. You have roadblocks that you cannot deal with. And because of what you hear, you are afraid. Listen, if Justice Chukwu was to entertain all the things I heard about, me moving to the US, I wouldn't have been in the US today. But I guess one secret is that I have seen it all. I have been attacked. Even growing up as a blind child, I was coerced. into fighting my fellow kids who were not blind. Oh, yes. Sometimes we had wrestling. Imagine a blind person wrestling with a non-blind person. Sometimes, of course, they defeated me. And sometimes, or most times, I defeated them because I took time to think. Each time I was defeated, I will go back to the drawing board to reflect and ask myself, how can I avoid being defeated in the future? That is one thing again you need to do when a fearful situation arises. Sit down and rethink. Yes, get out of emotion at a time. Okay? Close the chapter for a moment. Take a walk and come back. Do your research and you will find a solution. And listen, sometimes you may not win. Sometimes you may not succeed. But let me tell you, the number of times you lose should determine the multiple number of times you would win in the future. Do you know why? Your loss should be an opportunity to learn. Yes. So don't be afraid to take a step to that academic dream, to that career dream that you have been yearning and aspiring for. Fear is a coward, and that's why it comes spontaneously. Fear confronts humans, and the best way to deal with fear is to confront fear. And how do you confront fear? Take a deep breath, step away, and fear will think, oh, we got him. Now he has stepped away. And then you will come back when fear would be relaxed. Okay? And you will end up confronting fear. Don't be afraid. Tomorrow is always uncertain. It's a reality. So some fears are just trying to shroud us of the knowledge about reality. There are some situations that are natural. Okay? We know that, oh, it might rain tomorrow. We know that, like here in America, in Portland where I live, I still ask myself this question: why is it that each time rain drops on the ground, drivers drive crazy, despite the fact that they should be used to the rain? Because Portland is a raining area. It's known for rain, okay, for rainfall. So, and nobody could provide me the answer. But I think the answer is that we do not prepare our minds to deal with the situation that comes with rainfall. We tend to be nervous and afraid, and sometimes fear triggers emotion, and you cannot act effectively when you allow emotion to shroud your intellectual capacity. Okay? Don't be afraid. The blind Justice Chukwu has seen it. Maybe I've not seen it all. I don't care. But the point is that I learn to manage my expectation when situations arise. I sometimes tend to be very soft and subtle when that situation is brewing. And people would not understand that me being subtle is to study the situation. I would be studying the situation over and over. I mean, for me to have defeated some of my, opponents during wrestling should tell you that it's all about the brain. It's not about what the eyes could see, okay? Let's not allow our eyes to deceive us. Let the eyes of your mind see things. Allow the eyes of your mind, your brain, to see things. And that way, you will be able to reason, find solutions, find your friends or your partners that will help you to deal with that situations. Sometimes they may not be available, they may all desert you, but you don't have to give up. If I had listened and taken everything I was told, okay, before coming to the US, I wouldn't be here talking to you. Okay? Don't be afraid. Fear is a cancer that can be dealt with. And it is only you, when you determine to deal with it, it goes away. Bye.